You're about to see molten glass at 1300 degrees Celsius shaped with wet newspaper. Yes, water beats fire here. Watch as steam becomes the secret glove, stopping the glass from sticking and letting it glide. Stay with this rare 1992 bench view. We'll show why a dry sheet turns to embers and ruins the surface, how a soaked wad creates a slick cushion, and where a simple wooden block can fail without moisture. The payoff: you'll never look at a Marva, a Jack, or a Sievert torch the same way again. Have you ever seen a hand drift close to a glowing blob and not fry? Here is why that happens. The move looks reckless, but it's actually tuned. Water meets heat and builds a buffer. The hand rides that buffer, not the glass. Start with the tool. It's not steel. It's a wad of wet newspaper folded into a palm pad, soft, cheap, and soaked through. The fold gives a smooth face. The pad breathes as you press. It sits in a tray, takes on water, and comes out heavy. Heat and water should fight. Boil, spit, scorch. But in the hot shop, they team up. When the pad hovers on a fresh gather, the first touch is a whisper. The paper doesn't grab. The motion holds steady. Watch the contact. The skin of the glass hisses. Steam blooms. The bubble slides as if greased. You can hear the note change when the glide kicks in. Rotation stays even. The pad stays still, while the glass turns under it. Here's the physics. When a liquid meets a surface far hotter than its boil point, it flashes into a thin vapor layer. That layer breaks contact. Friction drops. Drag fades. It's the same trick you see when droplets dance on a hot pan. In the shop, that vapor is your friend. Think of a hovercraft. Air lifts the hull and keeps it from snagging on the ground. This does that, but tiny and fast. A vapor bed forms under the pad. The glass rides it. The hand gets near, yet never quite touches the melt. Now the grip. Fingers do the steering. The thumb and first two fingers stack pressure through the paper. The wrist tilts to bias one edge. The glass rotates on the pipe. The pad skims the high spot, evens the lump, smooths a wobble. You see the wall tidy up. No scars, no paper print, but the cushion is fragile. It depends on moisture. Lose the water and you lose the glide. The steam film thins. The surface starts to talk back. Any grit in the paper writes into the skin. Every pause makes a mark. The glass remembers. Why newspaper? The fibers soak and hold water as a sheet, not in big pockets. They feed steam in a steady way, not a burst. The layers burn slow, so you get time to control the push. A glove can shield, but it can't breathe or shape like this. The pad lets your palm set flat planes and soft curves. It gives and recovers. You can tune it with a fold or a new face. This is how the hand gets close and stays safe. The steam does the heavy lift. Keep it wet, and the shape glides true. Let it dry mid-turn, and the story flips fast. Now watch what happens when that pad goes dull and the glass starts to bite back. Here's the quiet failure. Everything looks fine. The turn is smooth. The bubble stays true. Then the pad dulls. The glide fades to a drag you can hear. The shine drops a notch. The glass starts to talk back. Mid-shape, timing is tight. The round is dialed in. The pipe spins clean, but the pad feels lighter now. Less weight, less soak. The face they used to give is stiff. That's the small tell. The hand stays steady, but the surface pushes harder than before. A dry corner slips in. Fibers char at once. Heat chews the edge. Tiny embers split off and drift. They don't fall away. They land and stick to the hot skin. You get a faint pepper of grit where you wanted pure gloss. It looks minor for a beat. Then it isn't. Close up, the harm shows fast. Those specks sink and weld. They turn to pockmarks. Each dot blooms into a dull pit. The path is no longer slick. It bites. The rotation sends ripples down the wall. A clean arc becomes a wobble line that you can't unsee. The pipe can mask it for a turn or two. but the skin keeps score. Now the cost. To save the piece, heat goes back in, back to the glory hole. The pits round out, but crisp edges soften, ridges blur. Sharp detail melts into safe, plain curves. Skip the reheat and hit the marver hard. The surface can smooth, but the wall thins where you press. Mass shifts, balance slips. Fix one flaw, invite 3 more. Shops learn this the careful way. Moisture is the control. You must feed it every pass. A quick dip in the bucket resets the steam film. Fast in, fast out. The pad comes up heavy again. The first contact sings. No stick, no grit. It's not superstition, it's repeatable. So the tool rhythm locks in. Rotate, wet, shape, check again. The cadence looks simple, but it's the guardrail. Miss a step and the piece records the lapse like a vinyl scratch. One rough bar, then it loops, and you hear it for the rest of the turn. Here's a small twist you might be asking. If paper fails when it dries, what about wood blocks pressed right to the heat? Dry wood against a fresh gather sounds worse. Wouldn't they flame out and brand the skin on contact? They do if they're dry. Same root cause. Dry fibers make embers. Embers fuse to the glass. That's the chain. Dry paper turns to grit that bonds and scars. One touch and you stack rework. Time lost, detail lost. Fuel burned to undo what a few seconds of water would have spared. Time to swap the handpad for a wooden block. Same fire, new tool. Watch how water saves that block. Turns it from a scorch risk into a smooth cradle, and keeps the round true while the clock still runs. A solid block of wood meets molten glass. That sounds wrong until you add water. The block looks simple. A carved cup, smooth inside, flat outside. It sits by the bench like a quiet helper. When a fresh gather comes off the furnace, this is the cradle that rounds it and pulls it into center. The cup hugs the mass and squares the spin. In a few passes, wobble turns to true, but there's a catch. Dry wood is a trap. It will scorch, it will stick. The hot skin brands, the turnstools. You lose momentum and you print the burn. That's a rescue job you don't want. The safer move sits one step earlier. Keep the block in a water bath. Let it soak. When the blower grabs it, it drips. Drops trail from the rim. The inner face looks dark and alive. First touch, it sighs into steam. The wood doesn't grab. It breathes. The round starts to clean up at once. This is the same steam trick the paper pulled, but with a fixed geometry. The wet face flashes a thin vapor layer on contact. The glass floats on that film. Friction falls away. Rotation stays smooth. The block keeps its curve, so the bubble follows that curve. You get glide and shape in one move. It's a small hovercraft for a hot sphere. Now the precision. The size of the cup picks the path. A shallow dish makes a broad round. A deep one makes a tight ball. For a cylinder, a longer, straighter bowl sets the wall and the axis. Early in the heat, this pass matters most. It sets the baseline. Later tools only refine what the block already wrote. Here's a clear example. With a clean, wet block, the wall evens out. You can see the thickness even from the bench light. The pipe stays centered. The glass keeps mass where you need it. Miss a wet patch, and a pale streak shows where the wood ran dry. That streak scuffs the gloss and shifts weight to one side. Now the piece fights you. Off-center mass means you chase balance for the next steps. A bench torch helps when the block can't reach. Thin lips chill fast. A narrow flame can spot reheat that ring without swelling the whole form. The two moves work in tandem. The block makes round and balance fast. The torch guards thin edges from shock and keeps the work alive for detail. So what do wooden blocks do here? They deliver fast, round, low-friction shaping by turning water into a vapor bearing. Keep them wet, and they glide. Let them dry, and they burn and mar the skin. The rule is simple. but the payback is big. With the base form set by steam, now the shop can bring in steel, marver for line, jacks for the waist and lip, and that small, sharp flame to draw edges tight without scoring the face. In a room built on fire, control rides on water. The steam layer is the hidden tool that lets hot glass move without scars. Paper pads glide, blocks cradle. Steel follows clean tracks. It's heat, timed moisture, and steady hands acting like a small conveyor for a liquid shape. If this changed how you see the hot shop, subscribe to our channel for more exciting content like this, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. And tell us which tool surprised you most. That will be all for today. Next time we'll show how a simple pair of jacks draws a perfect lip without a single scratch.